All right. I believe everyone can see my screen, right? And can hear my voice also. Okay. Thank you for the response. Let's see how fast we can go. So today I want us to progress with Hello, can we hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, all right.
Your voice is kind of low.
Okay, okay. Let me. How about now? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. It's better now.
Okay. So I want us to continue with. Well, let's wrap up groupings, beans, and lists. All right. So from the last class, I don't think that video was uploaded. I tried to do something using the list. Remember, I said listing is for putting data
Mary.
into segments, categorizing data, while the bin is for putting numeric data into several bins. Okay. All right. So I think from the last class, we were able to work on the bin, the list for the continent region we're doing. Let me check if I still have that. Okay. I think it was. Oh, I think I didn't save that file. Let me recreate. Let me be sure first if I recreate anything. Page group. Okay, I don't have a group. All right, so let's just walk over this quickly. So I'm going to create a new group. All right. Okay, this is what we're trying to do. So you can see I'm trying to segment all my data, all my country list, all my country data into a list. All right. And so the group type here is the list. And I think I can remember we're trying to work on this. So all of these countries now, remember we walked through this, all of these countries, they have their respective continent that they are located in. So I want to just group them in order of, let's say, hierarchy. Not hierarchy in this case, just want to put them in their respective continent. So I'm grouping them into, I'm categorizing them into a list, right? So two countries here, they have similar continents that they belong to, which is United States and I think Canada, which is North America. So I'm just going to come here to highlight it, and then I group it. It goes to this group and members pane, and I do that for United States. No, okay, let me ungroup this. So I click on, okay, let me ungroup it too. I just select it together, all right, and group it. So I'm going to name this as America. Okay, so I click on my enter key. Then we have Germany, France, and United Kingdom, which is located in the Europe continent. All right, so I click on enter, and then Australia is just a standalone, and I'm okay. I leave it as Australia. So this way I can now click on my group. All right. So automatically I've created a group using the list. All right. So I have a group here. So I could come and I could create, say, I want to check, I want to display my revenue by country. All right. So I'm going to, I don't think I have a revenue. Okay, I have a revenue column here. So I'm going to create a calculated measure that will contain all my revenue, all my individual revenue per product. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. Click on the sales data table and right click on it. I create a new measure. All right, and I'm going to call this total. I think I already have a total measure already. Let me call this total revenue. Total rev equals to some function. So I goes to the sales data set. All right. Sales data set. And I click on my unit price. Ibironke, I think your mic is on. Please kindly mute your mic. Please, if your mic is on, please kindly mute it. All right. All right. Thank you. All right. Thank you. So I have my total revenue here. I'm going to evaluate it. So I could come over here to create a new card and bring in my total revenue here. Okay, so this is my total revenue. I could just format it a bit just so that it can pop out. All right, so this is my total revenue. So now going back to the grouped data we have already on the country column, right? I can okay, so I can now visualize this. Now this is where I'm going to. I can now visualize this based on I can visualize my total revenue based on my country. All right, so I see the individual revenue for each country. So I'll go to my country. Country colon here. All right, and then my total revenue. So this is my total revenue by country. So this is a simple visual. All right, everything's adding up so that we can have an overview of our data set. All right, so this is total revenue by country. All right, so these are just pretty simple visuals. So when we are going to do the final overall, maybe work we are going to do, hopefully, this weekend, you get to appreciate it better. So this is total revenue by country. All right, now, so how does my country, I grouped, so if you can recall, I just grouped my data, my country colon into a group. All right, so I want to analyze it based on continent level, because for instance, if we have total revenue by country, so imagine we have a lot of countries, all right, maybe hundreds of countries, and we want to, oh, please hold on, that noise is coming from my background. About that, children around here are so excited. Sorry about that. All right, so imagine we have a lot of countries. So this is where you can now group your data, all right, into segments, and which you just did by category. So I'm going to come over here, and I did this in the last video, so I'm just doing it again for emphasis. So I right click on the group I just created, all right, and create a new hierarchy. So remember I talked about, oh, please, just give me a minute. Hello, can we hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, apologies for that. My environment is a bit noisy. So I'm going to create, okay, I've done that already. I've created a new hierarchy here, and you see this symbol, all right? You see this symbol. This denotes that a hierarchy has been created. Remember, I said the hierarchy is order of things, all right? So in order of things, the continent comes first, all right, followed by country. If your data set has regions, locations based on zip codes, geometry, latitude, longitude, for some data sets, you can now begin to put them in order. So from the continent to the country to states, region, and the likes, cities, towns, and that. So to do that here, I'm going to come to my country colon, okay, and right click on it. So I now have the option of adding this to a hierarchy. But before now, if I had not created the country group hierarchy, I won't have this option. Well, let me delete this from model so we can see. Okay, so this is what I mean. I'm creating the hierarchy, and I want to add my country to the hierarchy. So if I right click on it, I won't see any option add hierarchy, just create hierarchy. But this is not sufficient enough for me to create my hierarchy. I create it on the group. All right. So I right click on it and I create hierarchy. So it creates for me automatically. Okay. And now I can come to my country and right click on it. So I can now add this to hierarchy. And you can see on the left, I have a hierarchy here. Okay, so I've added it to my hierarchy. So this is what I'm going to do now. Now I can see my total revenue by country. United States having the highest revenue, $15 million, and Canada the least. Okay, so on this visual here, this bar chart, I'm going to go to my visuals here, and take away this country colon. This country that is in this x-axis, I'm going to take it away because I want to now measure my revenue by hierarchy that I've created, no longer just a single column. So to do that, I'll take it away and bring my hierarchy here into this x-axis. Okay, so you can see below, you can see Australia, you can see Europe, you can see North America that have been. So I've categorized it into segments for just into bits so that I can see see a level, the level of my revenue on different levels, on a aggregated level. All right. So we can now have the option of drilling through and drilling down this hierarchy that I've created. All right. Do we understand up to this point?
Yes, sir.
All right. Beautiful. So you can create hierarchy. I showed us in the previous class where we were able to create hierarchy using the year, the date column. All right, from year, quarter, month, and like so. This I've just replicated it now on my country. So you could do that based on, yes, I also did that in the last class based on product category. Okay. So if I drill through now, I've activated my drill down mode. So if I right click on this, so all of this are aggregated, all of the Maximus UM products, aggregated them into, if I go up the hierarchy, into just Maximus UM. I have the Maximus UC products. Hello, can we hear me? Oh, at some point I didn't know when I lost internet on my end. Please, maybe sorry, in case of next time, should just maybe you could just drop a message on the Telegram group chat. Let me see. Let me try to move fast. The next. All right. So sorry about that. Sorry about that. So I'm on my drill down page now. So I can now, once I click the data point, I can now drill through the level of hierarchy that I've created. Okay. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi, sir.
Okay. All right. So um so now the drill down mode is on. Okay, so I can go up my hierarchy. So you can see I have my 3 continents here. All right. Australia, Europe, and North America. Okay, so this is my total revenue just on the higher level of the hierarchy, North America, followed by Europe, followed by Australia. So if I click on Australia, it will take me to the only state or country within Australia. So I can go up the hierarchy to the highest level. If I click on Europe, it takes me to the 3 countries within Europe: France, Germany, and United Kingdom. So I can see my revenue by country, right? So if I go up the hierarchy, click on North America, I can see Canada, United States. So this is what groupings can help you do. All right, it helps you categorize your data with using the list. So this is just what we can make use of grouping. All right, so let me go back my hierarchy. All right, so the next thing I want to show us is using bins when grouping. All right, I was trying to do that in the last class, but I couldn't finish up. So let me run over it quickly. All right, so still on this, my sales data set. All right, I'm going to, like I said, so groupings, they help you, sorry, beans is used to categorize numeric data, all right, for better analysis. So you put them into groups of sizes, all right, depending on what you want. So in this case, if you come over to our data set now, we have customer age here, right? So there's already a grouped age for the conditions were met using this colon here. So if certain age is met, you can classify it as adults, teenager, youth, and the like. So, but I want to create a bin using this numeric data we have in our customer age. So I'll go over to my report. And I'm going to my age colon. This is my age colon. Customer age. All right, so I click on it and it will give me the new option to create a new group. Mind you, I mentioned this. If you are in your report, if you are in your table view, you won't have that opportunity to create. Where is the customer age again? Okay, to create a new group. You can see over from here. All right, it's not showing, you just collapse, expand all. Okay, you can create new group from here. Oh, why am I mistaken? Wait, let me be sure. Okay, you can still create new group. Okay, let's create new group directly from here. All right, so you can see my new group here, customer age. This, I'll leave it as this name, this default name here. So the field, I'm taking the data from my field colon. So you should see now the group type, it's the bin. All right, so this time around, I'm not going to use the list any longer. I'm working with the bin. All right, so because I want to categorize, I want to put them into sizes. So you can see the list, you see the minimum age here, and then the maximum value here for the age range for my data set. All right, so the bin type, I'm interested in the sizes of bins because I want to put them into bins. Now I don't use the word category because I just use the word category for the categorical data. All right, so I'm putting this into bins now. So if the customer age is between maybe 10 to 20 or 0 to 10, I can put that as a bin. 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 50 to 60. Can call those people adults. So this way you can see the age group that is interacting with the product. When maybe once we launch a product into the market, we can now see the age group interacting with it. So it just for us to aid better analysis. All right, so I'm leaving it aside, bin size. All right, so the bin size, I want to put it into groups of 10s. All right, this is what I'm going to do. So I click on OK. So I've created a new column here. I'm going over to my report view. So this is where I'm going to make use of it. So if you come over here now, you can see the group I've created already using our customer age field. All right. So how do we say? Let me bring a use case now. I could put this like I just mentioned. We want to see the age demography that is interacting with our product. So this is how I'm going to do it. I'll bring in a slicer visual here. All right. So I'm going to drag and drop it into here. So you can see, let me format this a bit. So you can see now it has grouped our customer age into bins now. So like I said, it's just to aid better analysis, make it very interactive rather than just having numbers. Okay, rather than just having numbers. Let's use this as background. So now this is a filter that has been applied already. So I can now go to my data set or on my visual. I can see how customers are interacting with our product. You find this very well when carrying out analysis. So I could see the age by country. So if I click on this bin rather that has been created, you can see how it's now changing the colon and the total revenue. So you can see in this bin now, this is the revenue gotten. All right. If I click on this bin, you can see the revenue gotten here. You can see the revenue. Okay, so this is already grouped into the bin where we have the aged people. All right, aged people. So we can see the total revenue. I think it has a list here. All right, it has a list. This is $1,674 as our revenue. Unlike this $4 million mid-range, 50 and the like. So we can further analyze this using our product. All right, using our product. I can come in here, say I want to visualize my revenue now by product. All right. So I click on a new visual here. Stack bar chart. Okay, this is going to be a bit clumsy anyway, but let me bring in my revenue. So you can see so this is how you group. So this is grouping the binning rather can only be accommodated by numeric values. So you can put it in slicer so you can see how they are interacting with your product. All right. Okay. So is there any question at this junction? Okay, Inspire. Go ahead, please.
So the question I have is this: the grouping of this age group into 10 category like this, like the way you group them, like if
Yes.
you want to group the age, like instead of showing this number, like showing that okay from 10 to 20, these people are of youth, like yeah, categorizing them into youth, and
Mhm.
from 30 to 40 maybe they are middle age, from
Yeah.
50 to kinikon they are adult, and so like can you do that with this with this bin we use to group this numerical number into something else?
Okay. Okay. Yes, you can do that. So I'm just taking a different approach. All right. Remember when we did if we're using the if function, for example, if you can categorize them or just group them, if age is within this range, say 17 to this, you can say return youth. If age is equal to this, return young adult or just and the likes of that. So you can also do that too. So all I'm trying to, I'm not interested in the so that is the word demographic now. I'm not interested in it. I'm just putting it into perspective how we can group them into beings. All right. So you can
Okay.
just at a glance, you can just click and so this is I'm putting it on a visual. See this now. There's already a group in here on this data set. You get so 35 to this adult. Look at
Okay.
it. Senior, young adults, youth less than 25. All right. So now I'm putting it on a visual just to see how we can appreciate binning using numeric data. Do you get?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. You're welcome. Okay. Any other question? Okay. So we can also see our revenue. So these are just ways of making your visuals very interactive. All right. Before creating a final dashboard. So you can see different ways. So the next time we are going to create work on a mini project, create a dashboard. So all of this can be added. They are just ways of so your visuals can span into your report can span into different pages. All right. So I'm just showing you how you can remember when we created our report using the drill through. So so it's just a way of dissecting your well, in my own opinion, if you can really master DAX, while Power BI is a visualization tool solely for visualization, but the use of DAX can help you dissect your data at a very, scaled down level, just using DAX alone, writing different DAX functions to interpret your data to see that. So visuals, very impressive. However, you can still do a lot with Power BI, right? So these are just ways you can now visualize your data using slicers, using charts, using um, filters, drill downs, drill throughs, DAX, aggregating measures, calculated columns, and just there's a lot to do with Power BI. All right. So all of these are adding up to something. All right. So Power BI is not just visualizing data alone. How well is your visual speaking and representing the data set that it truly represents? Okay, so one more thing I'm going to do before I progress to the next thing for today. I want to add my um uh I want to add a line chart that can help me see the data too so I've using the age bin now. I can see my revenue by category, by country, and by product. So let's do that by year. So yes, it's a time series, analysis that will help you appreciate it better. So I'm going to come over here, bring my line chart. Where is my line chart? Okay. All right. So on my x-axis for my sales table, I'm going to drag and drop my x-axis, my year, and then find my total revenue used on the y-axis. All right. So you can see. So it's interactive. Right? You can see how sales are increasing. And if you want to dive deep into further analysis, this pane is already getting small for these visuals. I like seeing time series, it's just gives you a better view. All right, so you can see here, you can now begin to analyze, what caused this dip. All right, this was in 2014. You can do that at a month level. You can create hierarchy also to 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 drill through this visual here. All right. So Yeah, any question before I proceed further? Clarity on anything or okay. All right, so that's it for grouping your data into lists and bin. So the key difference there is that list, helps you to put in um, qualitative data, categorical data into segments. All right, unlike the bins. So you put them into, well, if you put them into bins, all right, in sizes or numbers. So look at something now. I'll try later on in the call. I'll try to visualize this bin using, so what we're moving into now is, trying to see how we can make use of most of these visuals here. All right, so I think that will be what we'll be wrapping up with, Power BI, and then we'll do a little review and everything, and see how we can create a dashboard or work on a mini project. So all of these visuals, all right, they have their strengths and they have their weakness. All of these visuals, from line charts to table to matrix to sliders, you can see how they can now add up to make something meaningful out of your data. So whilst they are very, very, useful in visualizing your data, all right, they also have their strengths. They have where they can be applied to, and you can use them. Cards that, like I mentioned, you can create cards and use it for your KPIs, key performance indicators. They are very, very good. Most all the visuals you see KPIs, you see all of this. All right. So you can see the strength of this slice that I used. You can see we can use to dissect and dice our data product. When do we use bar charts? When do we use line charts? When do we use maps? When do we use cluster charts, histogram, bar chart, pie chart, and the likes? Right. So because of time, I'll run through some of them because it's easy. You get to appreciate it when we are doing something as a whole. All right. So you can see this pie chart here. Right. It's what pie chart is used for. It's used to show us how different data or value contributes to the overall analysis you are doing. All right. So I wrote a measure here, revenue by weather condition. So you can see that when the weather is cold, this is what it sums up to. All right. Everything summing up to 100%, 360, or as the case may be. Right. So the first visual I want to walk us through, all right, is the line chart. I just use the line chart here. Okay. Well, let's create a different line chart. And let me explain something how we use line charts. Before I proceed, we've used line charts. I think we've used line charts in Excel. For those of us that are already familiar with Power BI, we've used line charts. But I want someone to just explain what a line chart is and what it's used for. All right. So using the right tool for the right thing. It's simple. The answer is in front of us. Let me bring this in. Anyone want to give it a try? Just using the right keywords. Where is line chart? Okay. Using the right keywords. Using the right keywords. It's already getting that. I'm supposed to see multiple hands. Okay, just one hand up. Somebody should second the motion. Second the motion. All right. Adedayo, please go ahead.
Okay, good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone.
Yes, good evening.
A line chart is basically used to show trends over time. The emphasis on the time. So I think that's
Emphasis on
basically what
time.
it is.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. That's the correct answer. All right. Anyone want to give it a try also? You say it's not used for like it's not used to show what did you call it just now? Over time, right? You
She
have
said
something.
She already said the answer already, so there's nothing I want to add to it. That's why.
Okay. Okay, she's correct. Very, very correct. Very, very correct. Just reminded me of something. I was in a meeting and they're asking for contributions. So somebody said, when it got to the person's turn, the person was like, I agree with the last speaker. All right. So, well, so she's correct. Very correct. So line chart is used to show trends. Okay, change. Those are the keywords over time. All right, used to show trends over time. Very, 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 very important when it comes to time series analysis. If you're working with the data that has, I think when we go to SQL, we'll have data set that can be able to help us appreciate it better. Time series analysis. All right, you can pick timing from year to quarter down at a very granular level to even seconds. Very, very important for those of us that are into the cryptocurrency. Can understand better. Are they crypto enthusiasts in the house? All right, so it's very, very important. You see those charts green up and like that. All right, so let me just give a brief demo using what we have for the data set. All right, so this is time series. Sorry, the line chart is used to show that trend over time. All right. So I'm on my line chart, and I want to. It's very important to understand, what this axis does. All right, the x-axis, y-axis, secondary axis, legend axis, and sorry, this legend, and you'll be able to appreciate it better. So when using a line chart, all right, you are putting in a data type, all right, that can help you see trends by that date, right? And then on your it's usually on your x-axis. Your y-axis contains numeric, values that can either be summed, counted, or by average, or it's just numeric value. So you can have those, operators work on them. So this is what I mean. So I want to see, in this case now I'm making use of my let me make use of this data set. All right, where is I'm on my star schema. Okay, I put in here, and on the y-axis, I want to check my revenue. Okay. So you can see this. I would have customized this visual, but because of time, we still got a lot to cover. All right, so what can you observe? Can anybody make a comment on this? Anybody make a comment? Inspire. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, what I observed is that at some point the trend was um like it was increasing steadily until it reached to a point, then it just went down. Like, I don't know how to really put it, but
You've put it already. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so very correct. So you can see over time, all right, which is on the y-axis, sales is going up from the inception of data collection. All right, so this is 2011. Revenue is 10,000. Is that 10,000 or 10 million? $10 million. You can see how it's going up. All right, and all of a sudden there is a strategic decline over time. All right, just the way rate is. You say the rate of is it rate? Okay, when you hear the word, for those of us that I think the only science student, rate per time. All right, so this is going per time. You can now see all of this. All right, so the line chart also offers, some other ways that we can be able to see insights better. If I want to see, I can compare a value against another value on the line chart using several values. What do I mean? For example, I want to compare my revenue, all right, by profit. I can do that using this line chart. So this alone gives you questions for analysis. Mind you, we're just exploring the capabilities of Power BI, all right, and then the visuals. Okay, so this alone gives you, this observation trend gives you a lot of questions to answer to find insight into your data set. Now, say I want to visualize revenue by profit. I can add multiple values or numeric data here in my y-axis that can be summed, counted uniquely or distinct, whichever one you're interested in. So I'm going over to my profit and I will drag it here. All right. So I have these two values I can compare. So you can see there's a different kind of slope here compared to the revenue. I'll explain some things better. I hope it doesn't take our time. So, but before I go into details here, let's customize this a bit and see how we can generate insight using just this visual alone. Okay, so I'm going to my format visual. I want to format this. I was on my visual, this build visual before, so I'm going to my format visual. Okay, so the line chart gives us various capabilities to drive insights, right? So on this visual, there's a lot. You can just go through them. You can change the size of your of the range in the y-axis, secondary axis, and the rest like that. So let me just go to the important things, all right, that I feel should be explained. These are the properties also: the height, width, positioning. If you want to change the title, revenue, and sum of profit, I could let me just revenue and profit by year. Let me move that sum off. Okay, it has changed. So you can format your font size, color, and the likes here. So this is revenue and profit by year. So let me go over back to the visual. So I'm interested in the markers. All right. Once I turn on markers, you can see what is, it has given me, more like a tooltip where I can just at a glance, I can see what my revenue is for the year 2012, 2013. All right. All of this, remember when we did conditional formatting in Excel, and we're taught how, those colors, signs, symbols, they mean something. You don't just use red anywhere you see red, or green anywhere you see green, or you just choose color. Those things, they represent something. All right, they represent something. So likewise, our markers also, all right, they represent. You can use them. You can use them to denote what you want to share in your data set. Okay, you can use it to denote what you want to share in your data set. So under the markers, you have different kinds of shape also. All right, you have different kinds of shape. Can we still hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can't hear you again, sir.
I can't hear again, no.
Hello, can we hear me? Oh, so sorry. Apologies. I didn't even know when I'm in a remote location. I've been here for a while, so it's really challenging getting a stable network despite a lot of internet connection. Sorry about that. I know it can be quite frustrating. I believe you can still hear me, right? See my screen and every other thing. Okay, okay. All right. Let me just wrap up and can you see my screen now? Please give a thumbs up. I'm sharing my screen. Let me be sure she's the only one having the same. All right. Thank you. Thank you. So let me, at least you bear with me. Let me just go fast because I think the faster we go, the better for us. Sorry, so sorry. I'm not happy with the circumstances surrounding this. Honestly, I feel we should have a better learning experience. Yes. So some things are just beyond control. We'll just try to minimize them rather. All right. Thank you. Thank you for your understanding. Thank you for waiting. So I was saying most of the times when you are making use of the line chart, you are analyzing trends over time. And just to wrap up with this, I was looking at the shape types here. You could use this. You could use your circle, rectangle, or all of this, depending on the kind of analysis you are making is doing. All right, they should point towards something. All right, another thing too, it's font size, color size. If I said color size, sorry, color type, font size, depending on who you are. You don't just choose colors or multiple colors. Color riots, depending on who you are visualizing for. All right. Sometimes people can have there's a word, is it color deficiency? So all of these things, aesthetics matters also when you are presenting your findings. All right. So see now, I'm making use of this crossed mark, but then it's not even showing on. It's not really obvious. Right. So that's where you can increase your size. So is it a trend you're trying to? Is it a negative trend you are trying to visualize? What are you trying to visualize? All right. All of those speaks to your visual speaks about those things. So like I always say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. All right. So by me seeing a picture, all right, it should communicate a lot of things already. You can just see a picture and you begin to see a lot of things from just one picture. So it's communicating thousands of words. All right. So that's for the line chart, and it's used to show trend over time. All right. So let's just dive in. Let's just see how we can look at whilst we are trying to learn the tool. Let's see how we could generate some insights from just this line chart. Very important. All right. Motola, please go ahead. Okay, was that a mistake? Okay. Okay, your hands were up before. All right, so like I said, so we can now analyze two, variables together using the line chart. We can also do that using, three. We can analyze more than two variables. So let's say we're interested in our, total cost. This is it. Okay. Okay. So this is what a line chart can give you. Briefly, just can anyone just interpret something out of this from this visual just in less than a minute, or take a look at it? And because whilst we're trying to learn the tool, all right, it's also important to know how to generate insights. All right. So like I said, this alone can bring so many questions. Anyone want to give it a try? Okay. Inspire, your hand is up. Any other person? Let me any other person?
Okay. What I noticed here was that as the year increases, the revenue generated also increases. But at some point around the 2015, the revenue generated had proceeds with the total. I mean, it was the third one. This line, blue line.
You can see it on the legend here: revenues, profit, and total cost.
Okay. For this blue line, as the year increases, the revenue generated also increases. But when it got to this 2015, the revenue generated decreases. So for this orange line, the total cost increases over the time. Then at the time when we got to this 2015, so the total cost of product also decreases. Then for the profit generated, at some point as the year increases, the profit was kind of steady. Then it got to from year this 2015, it also decreases. The profit generated also decreases. That's what I can see from my own knowledge.
Okay, thank you. Beautiful. Everybody, the truth is, everyone will have um their observation. Okay, one more try. Beverly, please go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Um, for 2016, we saw a huge drop in the revenue,
Beverly,
and
I can't hear you. Hello, hold on. Can you try? Can you try
Can you
speaking
hear me now?
audibly? Better.
Hello?
Very well.
Hello?
Very well. I can. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Very audibly. I can hear you.
Okay. I said from my observation, I see that in 2016, there was a huge drop in the revenue. And I think for the highest revenue observation, in 2014, if I'm correct?
Okay.
2014, yeah. And it went on a, let's say, slope from
Okay.
2011 to 2013. Yeah.
All right. Beautiful observations. All right. Thank you. So, like I said, if I give the floor open to everyone, of course, you would observe something. You must observe something. Let me take off this total cost now, the orange line, and just take a look at this. So this is another perspective you might want to, take home. So you can see the sky blue line, denote our total revenue, and there's a peak, revenue here, peak say in 2014, steadily declining from 2015 down to 2016. All right, down from 2015 to 16. But if you look at the profit, all right, that steep decline, it's not really the same. All right, it's not there. So this observation, it could mean several things, all right? So that's why I said you can open it to various questionings and, just questionings. So this observation could be that, there were some, particular products influencing these profits generated here. All right. So remember, revenue is, your sales, your unit price deducted from, or your cost deducted from unit price, whichever one comes first. I think before you can now get profit, which is selling price minus cost price. So the revenue generated here, all right, we didn't generate a lot of revenue, but then our profit on the other end, the decrease was not really much. So that means it could be some products, influencing the profit. That's the price of the product that were sold in this year. So we could have the high, the best sellers still selling at this particular point, which increased our profit, within a span of 1 year. If best sellers are still selling from 2015 to 2016, as shown here, all right, so they can be used to ask if there's a decrease or increase in our return on investment also. So remember, your list product category or list product line can still generate revenue for you, but at the same time to not give you profit. Remember, there was a calculation we did. How well are you really making profit? I think I think we did something here. How well are you really making profit? Let me check on this. Let me get rid of revenue and just, okay, so this is total cost and profit. So imagine if we have in January now, if the size of these bars are equal, that means we made 2x. All right. So the amount we sold our product for, we got a return on investment times 2. But then now this can show you how well are you making profit. So you can be making profit, yes, maybe 1,000 naira gain on the product you sold. But are you really making profit compared to the time, resources, and energy put into it? So all of this you can generate insight. So this is one of the visuals that can help you see how well you're making profit. You're making profit, fine, cool. But then are you really making profit? All right. So let me put that back. No, not unit cost. Is it total cost? Where is my total cost now? What did I remove? Cost. Okay, I remove revenue. So look at it here. Whatever. All right. So this will take our time if we want to really analyze this, but you can just see how you can begin to question some things here. All right. Let me see if I could. Any question before I proceed, please. Any question? Clarity on anything? All right. So one more thing. Let me add another. Let me add another line chart here. Let's see if we could, the time we have. Let me just copy this. Okay. So now let's see something now. Let me show us another thing. All right, so I'm going to take away my year colon from this axis and put in the months. Okay, see now. Y-axis. Let me get rid of. I'm just interested in profits alone. But then now, see the question here. There was a time we created a calculated column to classify or to categorize our high value customers based on the number of times they've purchased or the number of times they've made transactions with us. Remember that I think it was in customer table.
Yes, customer.
Sorry.
I said it was in customer table.
Yes. Customer table here. Right. Good value customer. All right. So this is what we created: high value customer and low value based on the total transaction they made. If they made 3 times, okay. So now let's analyze something briefly. So I'm interested in. So now I just walked us through the x-axis and y-axis. What can be on this axis? All right. So let's utilize our legend. And to do that, I'm going to use that calculated column now. I'll go over to my customer table here and drag and drop my customer value. Exactly. So you can now see there's an intertwine. All right. This is what I wanted us to see. There's an intertwine between the line charts. All right. So I think we've not really touched on most of these visuals: bar chart, column chart, what is this again? Donut chart, and the rest. So they're just easy, but I just wanted to dwell here to understand some things, because these are very, very important charts you would get to use. All right, so should I ask a question now because of time? So take a look at our legend. All right. I'm no longer analyzing by revenue or profit, but I'm analyzing our customer value by our profit. All right. So if you see the legend here, we have the customer value split into 3 legends: high value, low value, mid value. Okay. So the low value denotes this deep blue, mid value orange, and then the high value, the light blue. All right. So can anyone just be brief? Can anyone just make a comment on what we are seeing and give us probably a minute to think on it? I like having an interactive session. So it's sometimes it's not always, let's say, good to just throw the answer. Sometimes you just have to stimulate your the thinking. Inspire. Hold on. You've responded. Let's give the floor to someone else. Hold on. Just feel free. We're analyzing it based on customer value now, based still on the time, still on the line chart, and we're using this time around the month. Anyone want to give it a try? Part of data analysis also involves critical thinking too. Okay, no one wants to. Okay, Inspire. Probably if anyone is led, just raise her hand. All right.
Okay. What I observe here is that customer with low value, like low value customer, the profit generated through them was parallel all through, like it's steady all through the year and the month. Then for the high value customer, at some the profit generated from them was increasing steadily. Then at during March, it took a peak. Then it remained steady throughout, and it decreased little by little till we got to June. So then there's a downfall after June. From that June downward to the following year till December. Then likewise, for that mid value customer, the profit generated from them is quite similar to that of the high value customer, but just a slight difference from the high value customer.
Okay,
That's my bad.
beautiful, beautiful. I took one thing from there, which I would. Okay, we're beginning to have hands up. Someone raised a hand up aside Beverly. Who was that just now? Can't even recall. Please give a term because you are just because this is what we're doing. Aside is one thing to know how to use the tool, but then to begin to generate insights, it's another thing. Remember, it's another thing. All right. So you can know like I just said, you can know the route to a particular location. You can say, okay, if you get to this junction, turn left, you wait for this bus, enter, and you get to the exactly. Okay, now to go there now, you need a vehicle. All right. So it's just a way of putting our mindset or putting our mind on that analytical thinking. All right. So David, go ahead. Go ahead before I.
Yeah, yeah. Just like Inspire said, for the low value customers, there was a constant uh, revenue and profits throughout the year. And for high value customers, they spent the profits and revenue was high for the month of March, April, and May. The same
Okay.
thing for the mid value. Mm, yeah, and there was a decrease both for the high value and mid value from around October to December. So we need to investigate what happened during that month, since the 3 months, the three high value, low value, and mid value, we saw a decrease during that 3 months.
Okay. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Who am I not here to speak? Mary Jane. Bola, I was looking for you. Didn't your hands went down. Mary Jane, go ahead first. Just in some seconds now. Let me wrap up this thing. Mary
Okay,
Jane,
so based on what can you hear me?
very
Hello?
well, audibly.
Okay, so
Audibly, I
like
can hear
according
you.
to my
Proceed. Proceed.
colleagues, okay, so the low value was constant throughout January to December. So but for the high value customers, like they started getting increasing from February and then increased to April. There was actually a slight decrease from April to May, but it wasn't actually very noticeable. Then the decrease now started for the high value customers from May, just slight decrease. This I can't really see the end of it because of
Okay.
this
Okay. Thank you.
um
Sorry. Okay.
hello, Mr.
Okay.
Ife.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I can hear you. All right. Bola, please go ahead.
Good evening, sir. I actually have a question.
Okay, I could
Bola,
not
okay, go
finish.
ahead. Bola.
Okay, should I continue? So I did what you did in the second line chart, but mine is arranging it alphabetically from April, May, March instead of January to December. Or
Okay.
rather,
Okay.
it's
Okay. I
arranging
think
it in descending order. It's not arranging it from January to December.
uh, I sorted it by month. I sorted mine by month. I created a calculated column that assigns January as 1, December as 12. So I sorted it by that calculated column and it's arranged it for me.
Okay,
I
so
think
I'm supposed
in
to
the last
create a
year, a
calculated
calculated
column first.
column using the month. Yes, I think in the last video where I talked about group is it grouping or drill through? Yes, for this drill through. This is why I had a challenge and I had to go and sort it out. So I think watch the video because of time. I need to end the call in a few minutes.
All right, sir.
I would have shown you, but it's going to take my time. Like, so just watch this video where I created this. The second video, the continued video of drill through, you will see where I sorted it by month. I sorted it by month. You can see it here, right? So I created a measure. I think I can even where did I create that month again? Okay, I think this is it. I need to wrap this one up right now. Date. Okay. So month. Okay, this is calculated column. So this is the measure I did. Month number. I use month. Can you see my screen? Can you see my screen?
Yes,
So
sir.
yes, I calculated it month using the date. So it assigned it for me. All right. And I went to, then I clicked on month. You just do that. You click, then you click on month, the month column itself, and then come to column 2 is here and sort by column. So I sorted it by the month number. So you can even do it right on the fly. You see what I did? I just created a new calculated column, right? Clicked on this, created a new column, calculated column, and then this was the measure, the DAX formula I wrote. This month equals the month, this is the function. Then the date, I called the date table and then the date column. This is the date table, this is date column. Beautiful. I like the fact that you're following along right on the spot. And then go to the dates. Just highlight this, highlight the month itself. All right, come to your column 2 here and then sort by column. So sort by what you just created. When you sort it, when you click on this, you can now come over here and then sort. You will see this month. It will pop up here. So to sort it by month. That's why I had this to January, February, March, April, May, June, July. All right. I was trying to do it on another thing. Was it on in the last call? I can't recall it. All right, so that's how I did it. So I sorted it by month too, and I'm using that same calculated measure I used. Are we together? Understood? Hello, can anyone hear me? All right, thank you. Let me just wrap this up now. All right, so this is it. I think this will be the last thing I want to do. I need to so this is yeah, so everyone that mentioned that spoke mentioned one thing, that the low value customer, all right, the low value customer was steady. I think that might be an oversight. It's not as if if you didn't know the correct answer. All right, so it's just that probably if you had this file on your computer right now, you can use your mouse to highlight the points. So you can see that the low value customer in March, the total profit we made was $408. In June, 976. It increased. All right. It increased in August. It increased also 807. September it decreased. So it's not steady. Just that the difference is not much. Sorry, my background is really noisy. There are a lot of children around. Let me just wrap this up because it's still an inconvenience. But can we hear me audibly?
Yes.
All right. So this is it now. So this is the low value customer, and this is the mid, and this is the high. So one of the insight you can derive from here is that, you know, there's what we call in statistical analysis. So in statistical analysis, there's what we call correlation does not imply causation. For those of us that have basic statistical background, all right, correlation does not imply causation. What that means is that the fact that, see now, high value customer is the light blue. The fact that we have high value customer does not mean they will give us more profit. Are we together?
Yes, sir.
You hear me? All right. So this is moving away from the visuals now. All of this means something. So the fact that we have high customers, high value customers represented by the sky blue does not imply that, so correlation does not imply causation. Another way to visualize is using the scatter plot, all right, the scatter chart. So you can use it to see two variables to look at how they correlate, two variables. So correlation does not imply causation. That doesn't mean that, in the sense that purchasing more than 3 items will give us more profits. Remember when we calculated the measure in customer table? Let's look at the measure. Total, is it total transaction now? Okay, customer value. Okay, exactly. See the measure we calculated. So we use this switch function. If total transaction equals 1, denote them as low value. Mid value 2, 3. So the highest we had was just 3. So high value. So this does not mean that the fact that people are purchasing 3 items will give us more profit. They could purchase 2 items that will maybe generate low profit and 1 bestseller profit. All right. So you can see there's a dip here in the total. Let me go over. There's a dip here in the total. In the total profits. All right. And then you can see the mid value. Those are purchased lower number of items. There is an increase here. I could go on and on and on, generating insight from this, asking more questions. All right. And yeah, we get also another thing could be what were they actually buying? All right, what were they actually buying? So there's a lot of questions here. There's a lot of things you can generate using this insight. All right, so it's just a way of showing us how we can analyze data using the line chart over time. Okay, I think I'll end it here. I'm already being distracted right now. I can't even concentrate that much. All right, so I'll end it here. All right, any question while we fill up our attendance? I'll say how good. All right, sorry, I'm in a shared space, so because of network and access to power supply, this grid lockdown, national grid lockdown is really affecting where I am. So it's challenging getting a quiet spot where I could just do a lot. So apologies for the whole circumstances, the challenges we had, network issues and the likes. Any question, please? Any question? Let me try and wrap up. Also fill your attendance. I'll be ending the call now. I'll be ending the recording rather. No question, no consent, no observation. All right. Fill in your attendance. Fill in your attendance.